Hi there, my name is Rachel Stern. I'm the founder and managing partner of GovTech Ventures. And today we're wrapping up our short focus series on legislation and what that means for founders and when and how they work through that process. So today we're going to assume that you passed a bill. Congratulations. Now is the part that people rarely plan for. When a bill passes, your legislative champion is no longer the person driving the work. The center of gravity moves almost overnight from the elected officials to the people who now have to live and implement the law. So if you don't follow that shift, you can lose momentum and actually lose the opportunity. So during the legislative phase, your sponsor is the loudest voice. They push amendments, they work the votes, they keep negotiations moving. You also have your great lobbyist. And once the ink dries, their job is largely done. Implementation belongs to a completely different cast of characters, and these are the people who decide what the law means in practice. This is also where you're keeping your lobbyist continuously engaged and why lobbyists typically sign 12-month contracts, because they have to do this implementation phase as well. Now you need a new set of champions. Usually it starts with the program manager who understands the operational problem that the bill was trying to solve. These are the ones turning broad public policy text into real definitions and timelines and compliance requirements. These conversations are happening quietly, often in small working groups, and if you want your product to fit, this is where you have to show up with examples, draft language, and clear explanations of what the technology actually does. Another group you need on your side is budget staff. They don't write the bill, but they may not agree with how much it will cost, and they also may not have the money allocated yet. This can become critical because they choose which budget code the dollars live under and whether the program gets funding that you assumed that the law assumed. This is a good moment to offer a short implementation memo that lays out the cost scenarios, staffing needs, and the models from other states, because you really want to make their job easier and keep the program alive. And then finally, there's procurement. We've talked a lot about procurement in the past. These are the people who decide how to operationalize the law with an actual contract path. They think in terms of risk, timelines, what their internal rules allow today. If you don't build a relationship with procurement early, you can get written out of eligibility without anyone intending harm. A simple tactic here is to request time to walk through what the law requires and ask which contracting tools the agency already has open. The conversation often surfaces faster paths that the program didn't even think about. The transition period can feel slow. This is the aftermath, but this is also when the market is shaped. Every definition, every budget assumption, every procurement choice will either open the door or close it for you. And I want you to remember that your legislative sponsor is no longer the anchor, your lobbyist is the through line, and your new champions are the people tasked with making the law real. Passing the bill gets you permission, and the right champions get you the pathway. We'll talk next week.